It's brown. The room is gonna be. Oh, so she goes. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our next meeting of the school year 25-26. So first on our agenda today will be Ms. Madera speaking about our Title I school year position as soon as she gets started.
Yes. Okay. I mean, like, laughing a bit.
Yes, I think it's all up and running. It is up right now.
Okay.
Good evening. I am here to present information based on our Title I status, and a few information that has to be given out. If you have any questions, I do think the best source is our wonderful administration and also Mr. Walker, who sent me this presentation. I'm going to talk about the ESSA, Title I background, the purpose of Title I, the programs that are offered, the use of our Title I funds, and engagement opportunities, so that we can learn more about it, understand more about Title I, and discover ways everyone can get involved. Title I includes Every Student Succeeds Act, which is a federal education law that helps states and districts ensure that all students are learning and growing academically. Title I is a federal program, part of ESSA, which gives funds to schools based on the enrollment of certain percentage of students who can meet certain qualifications during for free and reduced price meals. There we go. And it also specifies ways schools must partner with parents and families. Okay. With our Title I funds, we support extended learning, inner core, and school climate with SEL, social emotional learning, and other. Title I means we have specific rights as a family at a Title I school. Our school has school level parent and family engagement policies. We have school parent compact with shared expectations on how to support students. If you want a copy of the policy or the compact, reach out to Mr. Walker. He has answers for everything. So family rights include information about our school's curriculum, DC's academic standards, and all parts of academic assessments used to measure student progress. We can partner together to support student learning, including frequent communication about how students are doing in school. If you request it, we can notify you about your students' academic achievement and growth in DC's state assessments, including ELA and mathematics. Students receiving services for English learners. Inform you about why the student has been identified for services, level of English proficiency, methods of instruction, and how students can exit the English learner program. Upon request, we can provide information regarding state qualifications. We'll let you know if your student has been taught by a teacher who is licensed or unlicensed, according to DC teacher licensure laws, or for 4 consecutive weeks. We hold annual opportunities for families to learn about Title I funding. A lot of information. We ask for family input on schools policies for parent and family engagement, for compact for school, parent communication and partnership, and how the Title I parent and family engagement budget is spent. We ask for family input on the school's comprehensive school plan, keep you up to date on how the school is educating all students, and we try to present this language as much as possible in a format that is accessible. Our plan is through CPS, Capital One commitment. Beautiful. The district vision is that every student feels loved, challenged, and prepared to positively influence society and thrive in life. The school vision is committed to an exclusive school community, academic excellence, integrity. Barnard Elementary School will provide instruction in a safe, nurturing, and supportive environment, responsive to each student in collaboration with families and the community. Our strengths do include Dr. Yu voted Principal of the Year. And we were selected as a DC Bold Performance School in 2025, with many more besides this. Our plan sets our vision, identifies our focus areas, our goals, and our strategies. It empowers us to take targeted action steps to improve our areas of focus. Many strategies, applying planning, ensuring reading and writing across all content areas, active monitoring during productive struggle, and needs-based small group systems. We provide families with frequent reports on child progress, reasonable access to staff, hold parent-teacher conferences twice annually, and offer opportunities to engage in regular, meaningful communication. Okay, so the budget. As a school receiving Title I funding, we have a budget, a percentage of those funds for family engagement. This year, we have a total of $3,411 to spend on family engagement activities. We can spend our funding on professional development for staffs that would be effective with family engagement strategies. We can support programs that reach parents and family members at home, in the community, and at school. We can disseminate information on best practices, focus on parent and family engagement, collaborating or providing sub-grants to schools to enable such schools to collaborate with community-based or organizations or employers with a record of success in improving parent and family engagement. And please note, per federal laws, we are not allowed to use this funding for more substantial meals, but are able to spend it on snacks. Please stay involved. The wonderful PTA, where we all are, please get more parents in the community involved. Reach out to everyone. We need as many parents as possible. We have our president standards, the incredible PTA website, and the super cool new Barnard website.
Yeah.
And the local school advisory team, which votes on budget. It's very important. Thank you. And that's the end of my slideshow. Again, if you have information on all this really wonderful and quite long Title I information, please reach out to Mr. Walker and our fantastic administration. Okay, I'm going to go back behind the laptop. Thank you so much.
Oh, sure. I don't think I need it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so on our upcoming agenda, tomorrow, Barnard DC Scores presents Passport to Fitness World Cup Edition. Travel the world, get active, and impact. Stronger together, an evening of fun, fitness, and fueling our bodies and minds. The time is from 5 to 7 p.m. Come on out. Wear a soccer jersey if you have it, or wear your Barnard merch if you don't. Please come out. Can't wait to see you all there. Also tomorrow is the ending of our Pacific Islander Celebration Week, with a wonderful luau where our scholars will get to enjoy it during each recess. Correct, Miss Ezekiel?
Yay!
Sponsored by Miss Ezekiel. You want to come and speak to the people? Well, you all have to come and see her perfect way when she has them. Come on up, Miss Ezekiel. Well, she's an awesome, she doesn't want to come up, she's been modest, but she's an awesome third grade teacher. Yes, and I've known her for years. She's taught a couple of my scholars. Thank you for all that you do. Thank all of the teachers for all that you do. Thank you all for being here this evening, parents and teachers and community members. Also on our agenda, on June 5th is our fun day, all day long. It's for the entire school community. I can't wait for our scholars to have fun. Also, our promotional ceremony is on June 11th. Doors open at 9:30 a.m. Come out and support our fifth graders as they transition from elementary school to middle school. This is really exciting. Bless you. Also on June 12th is the VIP of the building. the promotional ceremony for early childhood education. Please come out and support them, please. On June 5th is our monthly market. As usual, doors usually open around noon, depending on the time of delivery. So next, we will have an update from our treasurer.
Can you talk more about the June 5th date?
Okay, on June
The
5th,
fun.
it's a Monday.
So
So I mentioned that, because it's something I really would like to share with you all. And Eliza, are you there? If you don't mind, if we get the input of the community for this matter, it would greatly be appreciated. So because of our construction, Sunday doesn't have the same as in the past. Still, so because of the law, we can no longer have that. Anything inflatable, no bouncy houses, water's limited because of the structure of everything. You can no longer have petting zoos. Okay, so I'll share this with you all. I've been holding on to it for a couple of years now. I wanted to bring a train here. There's a trackless train opportunity, and because ECE, they never really get to go on field trips, that was always my thought of them venturing the world, but still at Barnard, like a field trip within our console. So that was a thought that I, wanted to offer for field day. It will be fun and interactive, and it's fun from ages 3 to 99. So even if the parents were here, you can jump on and catch a ride on the Barnard train. So then our committee, they have other activities available that day, larger than life games that the PTA has purchased and also that the committees have purchased in the past. I'm still working with them to connect with how exactly they want it to look. So the train is pricey, but we have a really huge school community. So I always look at whenever I do something for this community, just think about the cost that it costs you for your household. Now you multiply that times almost 600 scholars. Then let's add the family. We're looking at over 1,000 people easily, So some prices make sense to me. I don't know if that's something we could vote on as a community, as a present for our scholars. I think it would be great. And if the committee is for it as well, I think it's pretty fun.
What time does this happen?
So the train would run all day during fun days, and it's large enough for each class to ride together.
Wow.
Yes, right. So I met like the operators at an event in the community, and just like because ECE, like kindergarten, they usually go like to the zoo, or maybe they go to the farm in September. And so I just always envision our young people just being able to get on the train and have an adventure. And it's also an opportunity because I do know in our community, even though we have Metro Transit, there are families in our community with children and scholars that have never rode a train, ever, for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like an experience as well that they have never encountered. So I thought, so we can come back to that after our treasurer's report. That would be awesome.
Eliza
Yes.
would like to share.
Yes.
I think I can maybe put the microphone to, or I could screen share. Maybe. Should I try to put her? Yay. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me in the room?
We can, but we're going to get you on the smart board. Hold on a second.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll hold tight.
Yeah, hold tight.
You look great. All right. Hold on a second. Can you put the Smart Mirror app on? The Smart Mirror app, the purple on the left. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Southern.
This is great. We should have had Becca and Miss Madera running tech the whole time. No offense to Ryan, but he doesn't know how the smart board works.
Yeah.
Sound.
Yay.
All right. Is that me?
Oh yeah. Very loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm getting a terrible echo in my ear.
It sounds great here.
Okay. Okay. Then I just apologize if anyone else on Zoom is having the same problem. But if you mute, oh yes, that's right, because the people on the Zoom can hear me. So hopefully everyone can now hear me. Let me know in the chat if that's okay. Maybe those of you on the Zoom now that they muted the Zoom, you can hear me. Anyway, they muted the room. So thank you for surfacing this, Ms. Sanders. I'm really glad we get to talk about it as a community. Actually, the timing wise, it works out well. We've been debating in the board what to do, how to contribute for Fun Day. Ms. Sanders had the wonderful idea to bring the trackless train. We looked up prices. They are very pricey. She found the first one you found was like $2,500 or $3,000 or something. We kept looking and she ended up finding one that's about $1,500. We have in the budget $1,500 to support Fun Day. So that's the debate that the board has been discussing, and I'm delighted that we can bring it to you is, how to use our budget to best support Fun Day and this wonderful idea, recognizing that we have a lot of end of the year expenses, and our budget, as approved, carries forward a great amount of money to start next year, $10,000, which is the same amount of money that the board started this year with. But that if we overspend across, all the categories, that we won't. That's at risk. That is the risk. Is that if we overspend across the categories, we wouldn't bring as much into the next year. So it's kind of a question for the community to discuss. And also to understand, will there be additional Fun Day expenses beyond the train, because the train is wonderful. And so that's what I wanted to share since I was given the opportunity. I didn't prep this, so thanks for inviting me to swing in. Now, if you wouldn't mind unmuting the room, Ms. Madera, so I can hear back any feedback in the room. And I assume, since we're having an open conversation on this, anyone else can chime in as well. But please unmute the room because we can't hear you on the Zoom now.
Can you hear us?
Yes, now we can, but I'm going to go back on mute so I don't get the echo.
Thanks, Liza. I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is,
Yeah.
A, where is the train is it gonna be on the street?
It'll be on the plate.
Oh, on the playground.
So the way our playground is designed, doesn't it look like a train? The yellow, so it'll be out there.
And my second question is, what else do we need to pay for Fun Day?
So we already have larger than life games that the PTA has purchased in the past. It's all stored in the shed. Snacks, any other, small items. They're not huge.
So the budget that's in the amount that's in the budget currently, is it more than 1,500 for Fun Day?
Well, Fun
Or
Day
is that
is 13. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Does anyone else want to ask a question?
How would the train access this playground? Have you
Oh, so they would deliver it. They have a delivery person and they deliver and they assemble, and there's also an attendant.
No, I understand. We've had the train before.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about access to this playground. This
Yeah.
is cut off. You can only enter by the steps.
Yeah.
Is there a gate that's open that they can come from the top level?
The parking lot. So
But how do they get up the steps?
Oh, the ramp.
Oh,
So it's not
you think
your-
that train can?
The ramp.
You can make that.
I don't think I'm just wondering if it can
Right.
navigate the ramp because they're long pieces.
Right.
That sit probably 6 to 8 kids.
Well, so I've been in communication with the company, so I have pictures that I've taken of the ground to send them. So I think they're kind of confident in there.
You could barely get a bike
On the ramp.
They can go through the building.
Oh, right,
Or
true.
the main.
Yes. Yes, because they've done schools before, so I know they know how to make it work. Yes. And then we also have a standing offering of a fundraiser that we have not seized the opportunity of. Anyone is willing to assist with it, I'll also meet with fundraising. Nick Pizza, he offered us a fundraiser since last year. Well, he'll open up just for Barnard, like on a Tuesday, a day that he doesn't open in the community, and 20% of the proceeds will come to our school. So, people love pizza. He's a really good person in the community, so if anyone, once I speak with the.
Someone has a question. Ms. Greer looks like has.
Yes, Ms. Greer. Yes, that money is still.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Greer.
Oh, well, you read it out of the chat. I just I couldn't I couldn't.
Yes, it's still available. Could you all see the question? She wanted to know if the money that was allocated for Black History Month was still available.
It's, if I may, some of it is available, but we ended up supporting Saturday school with a lot of our student activity funds in the end. So I don't know exactly how much is available. That would be a treasurer question as well to know, because we did end up spending, we had extra money, but then we ended up spending extra money already on a bunch of activities is what happened.
And we do have some leftover Black History Month or Black History performance money, but it's restricted. So some of that money was given to us to be earmarked to be used for the performance. And since we didn't use it for the performance, we're not allowed to take that and use it for something else. We'll have to save it for next year.
I have a question, or not really a question, but kind of, I guess, I've not seen the train, and I obviously am an ACE parent, so I'm quite biased, I think this sounds awesome, but my question is more for like, will this appeal to like our fifth graders, our fourth graders?
From 3 to 99.
Well, I know that we would be excited for a train, but like, because it's so limited, I just wonder, like, will that be something they would want to use?
Yes, they would. And a lot of the things that I come up with, it comes from conversations with the children. So where I actually saw the event for the first time was from a WMATA event that our school is invited to every year. So I went out there with some other, scholars from the community, and they loved it. So it was really a big raid for the parents and the children in our community that did participate in the event. Yes.
I think I was the most interested to hear from like teachers on the fun day video about what they feel like they're doing fun, or what they have to ask to do, or they know what to do. I guess I'm just thinking about if we spend the entirety of the fun day money on the train and the kids ride the train, I'm wondering what else we might be able to do that might cost a little bit less, but also like kids don't need a lot of money to have fun. We can do activities, like we can set things up on the blacktop or the gym, but it does always feel like we got to do the other things. So again, I'm wondering if it would be better kind of like bang for your buck to have more separate activities versus all the money putting it.
So there are several external activities. The train would be in comparison to the huge like moon bounce that we used to have. So they had a whole interactive.
I guess I understand that like what kids love about field day is like playing with their friends, teamwork activities, like some of that stuff. So I'm just wondering if like putting everything into the training would take away from the opportunity to have like more diverse activities where kids could like interact together, be active, like field day should really have a lot of activities.
So I do have a key point from one of the committee members, Coach Crick. He did suggest when we were speaking about the matter that maybe the train could drop them off to different activities along the lines of the playground. But I know in here they'll have activities set up. I know he has like a bubble section, like a wet play section, and then we have like larger than life. Like I don't know what they're called at the moment. Like we have huge bowling balls. We have bowling games. We have like 3-dimensional games that are larger than life that comes out for fun day. So we have a lot of fun. So it won't just be the train. The train will just be the movement. It'll be the movement. It'll be just something monumental and amusement for the children. They'll love it. I know they will for sure. I think the adults will love it as well. Would any teachers like to give their insight? Miss Montgomery, would you like to give your insight or what you think about this train? for Coach Shay, Miss Brown, Miss Madeira, Miss Frederick.
Hi, can I
Can
ask you a question?
ask you a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so somebody can
Yeah,
mute
I
so
guess
it's
so
not the
somebody
echo.
can mute so it's not the echo.
Just say we have to mute the room then.
Okay.
So I guess my question or um not necessarily concerned, but I think what I'm hearing from Ms. Sanders is usually we have like something big there's like some big attraction at field day or fun day. And typically that's the huge water slide, which I'm not sure if anybody can share how much that used to cost. But because we can't have inflatables per DCPS policy anymore, there is no longer one big like thing that everybody wants to do. So like even if it's not the train, I do agree like that was the hype of field day. There was one big thing that the kids wanted to do. So I do agree like that. There should be something that's the big thing, but we can't have inflatables anymore. So and we can't even have the petting zoo. So it's like it, you know. I attend field day every year, so I know what the kids get excited about, and it's usually that one big thing. But that's just from somebody who participates every year.
Any other staff members want to weigh in? Of your thoughts? Anyone? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Would you like for me to bring you the microphone? Okay, Miss Ezekiel. Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Ezekiel, third grade. So I just like to second what Ms. Beer said. Again, it's something that the teachers want. We have to go with our group, which is about 17 to 20 kids. And with the weather and how they are, even with 30 minutes of recess, they start complaining about like the weather. So again, we rotate in and out in previous days. And I think, again, when they come out for field day and they see the water slide, it's something that's more like momentous. Like they're always going to remember field day, we had the water slide, but then we also have bounce houses here. Then you have kids who are like, oh, we have the popcorn. Remember when we got popcorn? Did you get it twice? They're actually not even so much worried. Like you said, they do worry about being with their friends. And I think that's something that is helpful. But as far as like spending it on something else, I think the teachers and just the kids being able to be with different grades as well when they interact is kind of something that is, again, very cost efficient. So, I don't think outside of the train.
Yes. Yeah, because like the slide was like 1,500. And that was a big deal. And they love it. I just think the train will be great children. I mean, if we all can agree on it, I think it will be a great thing. And it's always been with ECE in mind for kind of a stickler.
The license got something.
Yeah.
Hi. Again, please mute the room for the echo. I love this conversation. Thank you for starting it, Ms. Sanders. I'm delighted that we get a chance to discuss this sort of level of detail every now and then. And thank you, teachers, for sharing. So just, back to the budget. We have budgeted $1,500 for Fun Day. We have other budget in the Student Activities Fund. And when we have the membership vote on the budget, what you approve is the categories. So the categories that you approve are student body, community and family support, and PTA administration. And that gives the board flexibility to work with the school and figure out, within the student body category, okay, we had money, for example, budgeted for science fair that we didn't end up spending. So we can move that, to another student activity. So the really important number is what's remaining of the student activities fund, right? The student bodies fund for this year. And then that's not restricted for the Black History performance because we have one restricted donation there. And then what else do we need to spend it on before the end of the year? And so I'm going to put our treasurer on the spot and hopefully she can answer that. I know what she told us was there was a certain amount a week or two ago, but some other expenses, have happened since then. I'm happy to sort of share what you said, Julie, but if you can do your best, I think that would probably be a helpful input to this conversation. Because again, the amount of money we have and that we voted on the budget is there. There's nothing, stopping us in the bylaws from revising our budget categories on the fly. We don't need to necessarily even, but we should be aware of what those trade-offs are whenever we're making this decision, right? That's what the board tries to do. And I'm delighted that even though this is within the student bodies category, that Ms. Sanders has brought this to everybody to think about. So could you please unmute the room now? And Julie, please do your best.
Do your best.
Well, I don't have my computer with me, so I don't have exactly what's left in the student activities budget. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I on? Oh, there it is. All right, but what I can say, what's left in the student activities. So, and that is the bulk of what is left to spend between now and the end of the year. And it's about $4,500, and that is for field day, 5th grade graduation, pre-K4 graduation, yearbook subsidies, scholar awards, and the scholars book publishing. And I will say we did have some money budgeted for career day, but I think, correct me, that's not happening this year. Okay, so we do have some fun. Is this
Mr. White is coming to fix it.
all right? I do not have a loud voice, but
You got it. Yeah.
so what we have to spend for student activities is about $4,500. Maybe I can go through it. I don't have the budget, but it's I think we had 500 for scholar awards, 400 for scholars book publishing, which I think is still doing later this year. The book publishing.
Well, so our scholars in the 4th grade, they get an opportunity to become published writers every year at the 4th grade level. So this year, the submissions went in a little later. So the prints won't be back just yet. We would have paid for those around last month if it wasn't pushed back. So that's the part of what's allocated for the year.
Yeah. They said yearbook subsidies, I think we had about 500 allocated. Field day, 1,500. 2 graduations, we didn't have them. We just had 1,300. So I guess that's between the 5th grade and pre-K. And then we did have 500 for career day. If I've done the math, about 4,500, maybe 47. Oh, much better. So, yeah. So Eliza, to answer your question, that's where you went. That's about what we have left to spend between now and year end in student activities.
Okay, thank you so much. So just to highlight, and I'll leave it to the room, and anyone else but I just want to make sure we have all the information. So, if we spend the full field day budget on the train, which is fine, but then if we wouldn't be able to really, if we spend anything else on field day, we would be cutting from those other things. And I think our past experience is that there's often more rather than less, expenses for student activities at the end of the year. We've often sort of slid in at the, under the wire. Of course, we could do another fundraiser. We did have a great fundraising year, and and we haven't had last year we had unexpected expenses, then that's why we did a sort of last minute fundraiser. We could do something like that again in order to add some more money to the student activities budget would be another way to do it. I just wanted to make sure we have this information that we all have, so that if we spend over the field day budget, if we do the train plus, right, then what are we taking from? We need to be aware of that.
Okay, yes, I know, but I'm so anxiously thinking about ECE as I make this statement. So I've already met with the early childhood education team, and because we usually do their reception, always do their reception, I've already consolidated a lot. So the cost from us will be less for that this year. I've also changed some spending on some other items that I purchased for promotional. So I know that the price will not look the same as last year. The prices are a lot better. So I know for sure that we can make the end of this year completely awesome for the scholars and families and teachers and administrators for sure, and not rock the boat, as they say, or overspend. Yes.
So, I'll just add that I'll wait for muting. Testing. Okay. So I'll just add that, it's been an extremely challenging school year, which is why some of the events have not happened or happening at a different scale. So Career Day is going to happen at a different scale. We ended up having to cancel Black History production, Science Fair, had to look different. And so I think because it has been such a challenging year, there's not as many end of the year events as normal. I can speak from the person who writes the events on the school calendar. So yeah, if that's, information for anybody to consider.
They're really strong bears about what they want, and I must supply their requests. I must push our bubbles and really simple things that they would like to have upon being promoted to kindergarten. So I've met with them. They're really important. You ready to come out?
Yeah. I've been having a side pocket.
Okay, come on.
Tell me how much the total was for field day that we put aside. 1,500. And how much of that has been spent?
None yet. I haven't purchased anything yet. I have some items to purchase.
Do you guys hear that? So you have $1,500 to spend. $1,500.
So the train was actually a suggestion for me, but I did speak with the committee about it.
But this is a school event, right?
Yeah, a school event.
So what I was just hearing from them, because I think there's some confusion about what is currently spent, what's on the table, what's being run, that tell me if folks already know this and I'll stop talking. Okay. Yeah. Great idea from Ms. Sanders for a train. Who doesn't love a train? Great ideas over here. Great ideas from everybody to be able to have a big splashy thing to make field day as fun as it has been in the past. That's your intent, right?
Yes.
And I think some teachers want to know, and I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but what I understand is I don't think there was a clear sense of the total budget that is available and then who gets to spend it. And what I understand is PTA has put aside $1,500 for the school to spend on field day. Is that correct? So if y'all want the train and that is your total thing, then I think then there's not money for other things, right? There's not additional.
I think that's the vote.
But we could be able to do other things. But if you spend, is it 18 or 27?
Well, no, it's under 1,600.
Okay, so if you spend 15 on the train, then you don't also get the bubbles and the water balloons and the snacks and the other things. Correct or no? Yes.
So from what I'm hearing or understanding, the 1,500 is allocated for fun or field day. Career Day, which is going to look different, and Ms. Montgomery can correct me if I'm wrong, won't need $500. So that $500 is there. Promotions based on the person who's sounds like is going to be doing the ordering for the ceremonies, 1,300 isn't going to be necessary. That's what I'm hearing. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong.
My understanding from the last message I have from our treasurer for what you just said is that you had already counted out the science fair and career day, right? So when you're looking ahead for what is that $4,500 available for, it's the scholar awards, fun day, yearbook subsidies, graduation and ECE parties, and publishing the book.
Got it. So I'm glad this came up so that there can be clarity because.
I need to get my calculator out. The 4,500 does still include career day. But it's at levels, let's see, as I said, 500 for the scholar awards, 400 for the book publishing, 500 for yearbook subsidies, 1,500 for field day, 1,300 for the graduations. And I need to add that up. How much is left?
Wasn't there additional money from Black History Month left
Thanks,
over?
that's-
Oh, no, so the only thing that left is the earmark. I thought there was overage beyond the earmarked amount, since they didn't have the production. Is there anything left beyond the earmarked amount?
Of the 40, about 4,500 that I'm talking about includes what we have. Yeah. Because
The addition, the additions to pay for Saturday school, food specifically. Once Saturday school launched, it comes with a grant for, the teachers to work, but it doesn't come with any meal for the kids, which is a big important incentive to get them to come. So that spent a lot of the money down that did not get spent on Black History Month production, the unrestricted funds. So what I added it up, Julie, just because I'm at my computer, and the sum is 4,200 that you just said. So out of the 4,500, 4,200 would be Scholar Award, Field Day, with all of those things. There's about $300 left in the student activities pot at this moment. That's not already budgeted.
So it does sound like there's about 300 if we stick to the budget on all of the other items.
Well, career day is not happening at the same scale. So there's gonna be.
I think career day is
But you
not.
have it for $500.
I did, so that would bring the total to about 4,700. But it sounds like we're not.
Unless if Miss Montgomery can speak on something different. As of now, it is for next year.
It's for next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we have a
Right,
little
and
bit, But again, that does assume we can't go over.
But I guess my question is, if we don't use the additional money for field day, what would we use it for? We're at the end of the year, we have to use the money anyway, so why not? Are we just voting to make whatever's remaining into one large part and allow the school to decide what they're going to do? And if they choose to do the train, they choose the train. Because I've not seen it where the PTO had so much input as to which activities. It's normally amount is asked for, they determine if they can approve or deny the amount, and then the school goes off of that.
Is there a separate budget line? I cannot remember the budget we approved off the top of my head for school events and PTA events, or is it all one line? Because it sounds like we're talking about two different things. I'm trying to understand which we're talking about. So there's school events, which the school plans and says, we planned this event, PTA, we need X amount of money for the event that we planned. Can you help us? And if the money is earmarked in the budget for that, we can support it. There are PTA events where the PTA board says, we would like to hold this event. We want to have a movie night. We want to have X. We need this amount of money to do it. And they plan and spend the money on it. I've experienced both. It sounds like the field day thing is kind of like the PTA board is deciding, this is how we want to spend the money. We have it earmarked, and I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm wondering if there are separate line items or if it's all one thing. It's like sometimes school events, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Eliza, I'll let you speak on this. They're
separate. So everything is it's allocated. It's already allocated, as I've been adamant about expressing. The train was a suggestion from me. Okay, it was a suggestion, something that I've been wanting to do with the school, with ECE in mind initially, but it's for the entire school. So I did present it to the committee, and they were, they liked the idea. Like it's that big wow factor that we usually have for field day. And so I just wanted to bring it because it wasn't something that they wrote down as a part of their allocated fund day. When we sat down to, what are we going to do for fund day? We have construction. We can't have inflatables. We can't have water plates, the things that we used to have. And I'm like, I know a wow factor. The train, and it's something that all ages can enjoy. It's for the entire school building, from ECE through 5th grade and beyond. So Everything is allocated separately. We support the school according to what the committee asked of us, and we have them allocated before the year even begins with the openness of if things may change as they usually do. Like we supported even another group recently, and it wasn't allocated as a part of our school year budget, but I'm glad that we were able to support them. Those matters like that. So they are separate. Yeah, no, the committees control completely what they do. We just support them.
Okay, that's fine. So I
Yeah.
think that's a clear.
I know how to buy for the entire community, you know, no matter what the event is. It works. Yes.
And I'll just say, we haven't really had a lot of events that are planned by the PTA. I think how we've operated more has been the school is having this event and we'll support them. Oftentimes buying, you know, refreshments for, you know, what we have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an experience. It's more than just refreshments, you know. I like to bring an experience. So every time someone comes through our doors at Barnard, it'll be a moment that they never forget. You know, we have scholars still talking about an event from the fall. You know, they are the VIPs of this building. They are the ones who we want to support, and we want to supply the greatest moments and the greatest memories of their educational experience. So this is who we do it for. We support the teachers, of course, you know, as they cater and pour into our scholars every day. After this year, I think we all need a wow of some sort. And what better than a train? Dinosaur train.
I'm just gonna say it. Like, I think there are plenty of wow things that entertain the kids. I love trains, but I think that the challenge is it's a week away, a week and a day. There's a lot of logistics. There's a contract to be signed with them. We don't have the money specifically identified, and the children can be wowed next year in a beautiful new building, and we will have the funds to spend on a lot of things in here. Like, if there's volunteers and help out to make that day extraordinary, if there's probably people in this room and online who would raise their hand and have a station that we can try to compete with the train. I don't know, but they don't know that the train is coming, so anything can be great. I think it's a lot of money when other money is gonna come up, and I think it's a lot. I also want to applaud this robust discussion, because I think it is one of the best we've had in a really long time, and it's really nice to hear and have a discussion like this about the stuff that matters to our kids and to the staff. And in what I would love to see is in the future that we are able to do this more than a month in advance, so that we can identify extra funds and knowing lots of things come up last minute at the end of the year, and that flexibility would be nice. Like, my fear would be this weather, it rains, and then we lost $1,600 on a train to get the money back. And we don't have any indoor plans.
Well, no, there are indoor activities and outdoor activities.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, the train has a couple. Yes.
But we also I think we might not be able to get to these. Like, time is getting close. It is possible we might have to delay the election conversation because we have spent all this time talking about the train. So we might need to think about that with the you know.
Yeah, and I would, thank you so much. I would like to also add, just also a suggestion. Maybe for each group of teachers, for each grade level, they can team up with something they want to do a station, and we can support each grade levels. So like that, we can have a station from EK3 up to the 5th grade, and we just support each station. And I think they know the students very well, and they will be very creative. Yeah, so, but definitely I agree. I think I agree with Melissa 100%. I think the train is just it's a great idea with all means. It's just because we don't have that so much funds. Like, it's 1,500, and we have to think about the other plus the weather. So it was really good for you.
Are we putting a motion on the floor, or is there a vote? Like,
well, I put it out there for the people, you know, for us. But,
is there a yeah.
Right, it was right. Because it's,
I think someone does have to make
yeah.
I move that we put as much money to field day as possible,
Yeah.
and the school decides what they would like to spend it on. If they choose to spend on a train, I think the school should have the autonomy to use the funds that we solicit to, that we give to them. And that's, and as much as we can, because field day is a big deal. And if they could do it in excess of the train, a game truck or whatever, whatever money we have, we give to them to go. If they have something from their staff too, to go with it. So it's a great experience for all.
So practically speaking, we can do that. We can choose to take a vote. We can do that already. We usually do the things as the school requests of us by purchasing them with the PTA debit card. On smaller purchases, sometimes we do reimbursements. But for bigger purchases like this, we would typically have it come right out of PTA funds through the use of our debit card. If we were going to make a vote, I would say it would be a two-part vote. You know, basically the question is, we have $4,500 remaining for student activities for the rest of the year. We can definitely say, let's allocate more of that to the school to decide what they want to do for Fun Day. What we should be aware of is that is then going to pull from other student activities. I mean, we are all in support of a big Fun Day. We can let the school decide. We can let the school choose, pay for it, and then we can reimburse so that it's completely in their hands. We can have Ms. Sanders use the debit card to buy what the school requests. I just want to, we have a budget, and if we overspend, then there is less money for the other categories within the budget, or we launch another fundraising campaign at this late date. Those are our options. So if we were, you brought this up, Ms. Sanders, so I would suggest that, what is it the vote that you think would be best? Do you want to ask, just vote yes on the train, but keep the budget the same? Are you asking to make a budget shift? I think, you have the room. We've had a wonderful conversation. What are you hoping for? Please unmute. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Can you say one more time?
I think we should reallocate the money and add more for funding.
Just say which,
reallocate
from career days. Can we say reallocate from career day? That way we're not impacting a potential event that may go in excess of what we plan.
Yeah. So I'm voting that we reallocate the funds from career.
And we already spoke about it. Julie, how much is left from there?
I think about 300. I don't have the software. If I'd known this, I could brought my computer and actually looked at the actual numbers.
Maybe we could just have whatever's left. We know it's not 500 total, but 300. How does that money 1,500 go into the school and they make a decision? We have 20 minutes to go. Okay.
Who is the person responsible for spending?
Fun Day, Coach Chris and Coach Shay, yes.
So why don't Coach Chris come up with what you think they're going to spend, and it's more than $15, then figure out how much is left from career day.
Well, I have a statement from Coach Chris. He's for the train.
When I'm going to table this and move on to the election, but they think that I shouldn't need to go put my kids to bed, and I'm not.
I know, life is always gonna life, indeed. We all have families, indeed. So next, we will, okay, you can come on up, though. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure, yes. We're all parents here. Come on. Thank you. Thank you for your consideration, everyone who's here.
All right, sorry to move us on from the train. I know there's a lot to continue to discuss, but we do have another agenda item tonight, which is the PTA election. So just very quickly, you may remember from last year, the PTA board voted to, and the PTA membership voted to stagger elections so that two positions are voted on each year. So there are 2 returning members and 2 new members each time that there is an election. This year, the elections are for PTA president and PTA treasurer. So thank you very much to Ms. Sanders and to Julie for serving in these roles. We appreciate your service. The way that this has worked, the nominations opened a couple weeks ago. We had a call for nominations. We have multiple people nominated, but only one accepted the nomination. for president, which is Ms. Sanders again running for president again as a community member. And we had one nomination for treasurer, which is Kristen Sermons. As of right now, there has been one. So what I'm doing right now is I'm opening the floor for any additional nominations for either of those positions. So the floor is now open if anyone would like to nominate themselves or somebody else.
I would like to suggest, I don't have nomination, but we need more time. Can we, I do not know, like, if there is a time limit, I would like to, we have more time to try to nominate more people. I mean,
I am not on the PTA board. I'm a neutral party that is running the election, so I cannot do anything regarding the bylaws election. What I can say is that we extended the nomination period through this meeting, given that we did not have any nominations up until this point.
when I can recall exactly when we ask you for a new nomination, can you please cite the exact date when you open that nomination?
Nominations opened on May 15th, and they are closing today on May 28th. So it has been 13 days, 1 day shy of 2 weeks.
And is that usually the norm of the PTA?
So the bylaws state that, I believe, I don't have them in front of me, that the nomination period has to be open for, we are.
So it has to be open, can you cite that one more time, how long?
I don't have the PTA bylaws in front of me. I believe the nomination period needs to be open for 1 week. I will say there has been a committee that has been actively trying very hard to nominate people, and we have had a very hard time getting people to accept. If anybody has an idea of somebody that wanted to be nominated or wanted to nominate themselves and did not have an opportunity to do so, I think that's something we could take to the board. But right now, are there any floor nominations?
Yes. Great.
Patrice, I'm not on Patrice.
Is that? Are you here tonight? Perfect. And do you accept the nomination? Thank you very much. I do not have the authority to extend the election.
What is the authority needed?
Eliza, what is the authority that would be needed to extend the nomination timeline, please?
I'm looking at the bylaws. Did you, and by the way, did somebody just get a nomination from the floor and accepted? Who was that?
Yes. Patrice Davis was nominated for treasurer and accepted the nomination.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm going to ask you guys to mute the room again. So I'm looking at the bylaws, and it says that officers shall be elected by ballot in the month of May. The nominating committee did already, the election opens tonight and we're sort of extending it. We, meaning I as the president, cannot serve on the nominating committee. I as the vice president have been serving and supporting the nominating committee, mainly technically. While Becca has been managing the recruiting process itself. It says that officers shall be elected by ballot in the month of May. We elected to provide the electronic voting opportunity through June, I think 12th, we said, just to give time. We could, make that shorter, but the idea being that the election period is open for longer than just those who are able to come to the meeting. Possibly by the details of the bylaws, that should possibly be closed earlier, but there's nothing in there that says we could extend the nominating period past May either. Basically, the election is supposed to take place in the month of May. Now, if nobody had come forward and we had moved ahead without nominees, then that's a different story. And there are some protocols for who fills roles if they're unfilled, but that has not happened. We have had nominees. I'm done. That's all I have to share.
Wanted to honor the request at the meeting and move to extend the nominating period. Is that something that the membership would need to vote on or something that the board would need to approve?
Anything that is can you give me a moment to read the bylaws? I would imagine, of course, that would be something that the membership would need to vote on. The membership in general, right? The board serves the membership. Give me a moment, please. Give me a moment
for any more floor nominations, and then you just let us know when you have that. All right. given that the nominating period is still open, until we close it at this meeting or extend it, are there any other nominations on the floor for either president or treasurer position?
I want to nominate someone who has not agreed for something. Can I do that? No?
They do need to agree because they cannot be on the ballot unless they have agreed to.
But we might extend it.
If we extend it, then
Then I'll just wait.
ask them and let me know.
So can I make a motion to extend the nomination period? Is that what we're trying to?
That's what I'm
We're
like.
not official, is finding out if we can.
They have to vote.
And we need a
Yeah.
motion too. Yes, let's see.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work time.
I
Not
have a
sure
question.
yet.
I have a question as well. Can members of the nominating committee ask nominators if they're sure about who they nominated? Because it was clear to me that before anyone is nominated, they have to agree or accept the nomination.
Oh, yes, understood, yes. The members of the nominating committee need to get a verbal agreement from the people on the ballot before they can be put on the ballot.
No, can the member of the nominating committee ask the person that's nominating someone if they're sure about who they nominate? Is that legal?
The members can ask the person if the person they nominated had agreed to serve, yes. That was a question on the nominating form. Has this person agreed to serve? If the nominator sent, so like, for example, I got one nomination by email, and so the person had not filled out the form, so I needed the answers to those questions. So then you can say, has the person agreed to serve? And in fact, I had to ask that in that case. And then if the person had agreed to serve, then I just need a verbal confirmation from the person if I haven't spoken.
Oh, okay, but no one on the nominating committee can per se ask the nominating person, are you sure that you want to nominate this person? Is that out of the lines of?
I don't know. No, we wouldn't say, do you really want to nominate the person? They has that person agreed to serve? Is the only question, I think. I'm not sure. If there's a specific situation, we can go over it, but I believe that the person on the nominating committee would only be able to confirm that the person nominated had agreed.
And they would have to agree before they can be nominated.
They have to agree, but the person, the nominating committee did need to confirm that so that nobody ended up on the ballot who did not.
And the nominating committee confirms it with the person that was nominated or with the person that's
The
not.
standard procedure is that the person who's nominating somebody fills out a form on the PT board website. One of the questions is, did the person agree to serve? Once the nominating committee was finalizing the nominations, the nominating committee needs to confirm with each of those people, do you agree to serve, yes or no? So the people who were nominated, we said, did you agree to serve? In one instance, somebody said, this person agrees to serve, and that person said, no, I decline. That's why we have to ask them. In one instance, the person said, yes, this person agrees to serve. We asked that person said, yes, I agree. So in that case, we have one nominee. If the nomination came in not from the PTA board website, then we are obligated to ask the questions from the form, does the person agree to serve? And then we will take that, and then before creating the ballot, we need a confirmation from the person. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Eliza, do we have an answer?
There's nothing in the bylaws about the membership or the board amending or extending the vote. I think that in past years, we have had to have the vote in June just because we weren't able to schedule the nominating period early enough to hit the May meeting, and we ended up holding the vote in June. There's nothing that says the membership couldn't agree to something like that. It would probably be best to take a vote if that's what was desired. What the bylaws say is that the election is supposed to take place in May.
Wondering if there's like a ballot box that they could drop their nominations or votes in.
Yep, we will, if a ballot is required, we will create a paper ballot, and the PTA, I believe, has a mailbox in the office, is that correct?
Yeah.
So we'll put them, I'll work with the staff member to put them by that mailbox, and we will collect them periodically throughout the election. All right, let's take a vote. So as of right now, We stand with one nomination for president, which is Siobhan Sanders. We stand with two. Please.
There's some concern about the nominating committee and whether or not everybody has been included or not notified about the committee itself.
The nominating committee was set up by our Vice President, Eliza. She emailed some people asking, would you like to be on the nominating committee? Some people agreed, some emails went out. Can you speak to how the nominating committee was, the information went out about the existence of the nomination committee?
Well, certainly I definitely asked past members to serve because they had the experience to have served. Let me see. I know we talked about it at the last meeting in March. You know, we needed a nominating committee. Please contact us if you wanted to be on the nominating committee. I'm very 100% certain we did that. We I'm looking at the past emails that went out. Probably the major way we communicated about this, about being on the nominating committee, was by talking about it at the last meeting. I'm trying to see if we sent a separate email and I'm not finding it quickly, but we might have. So that's the answer there. Sorry, I can't hear what the question is.
That some people believe that they were on the nominating committee but didn't hear about. So I will tell you, I was asked to serve as the chair of the nominating committee, which I accepted. I was given, I'm sorry? Okay, I was given names and email addresses and those. Okay, I can tell you that I was given names and email addresses and that those were the people who were notified about the nomination committee. It sounds to me like there may be some concern around transparency and timing of nominations. That is not the intention, and okay, I'm not sure how that was. Okay.
Excuse me, what's the question? I can't hear the room.
The process for putting together the nominating committee.
They're saying there's been no communication within the nominating committee since they signed on.
That's not what, I don't believe that's what she said. Are you saying that you were on?
Yes, so what she's saying is that the nominating committee, yes, they are on the nominating committee, but however, they have heard no correspondence from anyone.
Okay,
the nominating committee since the first initial meeting.
Okay, so I can tell you that I have sent many emails to the nominating committee, but I'm not sure if we can talk separately about how that happened, because I will say that I have been sending very frequent emails to the nominating committee. So if I had the wrong email, I apologize deeply. And if not, but why don't we go over those after the meeting and we'll make sure we'll figure that out. Okay, all right. So where we are right now is we have a request to extend the nominating timeline. It sounds like there's nothing preventing us from doing that. We need to take a vote. So can I do that? Am I allowed to? I don't know if I'm allowed to call a vote. Can I call a vote? Anybody? Sure. Yes? Okay. I have the authority to call a vote. Okay. The options are, we extend the nominating. Would you be comfortable with one additional week?
We have it to the 12th, right?
Right.
For 2 weeks, there's some online voting that you want to have.
The voting goes to the 12th, but the voting does not start until the nominating period ends to make sure that we get all of the nominations that might come in. Right now, the voting would go until the 12th. If we extend the nominating period by, let's say, a week, we would also want to extend the vote by a week to provide enough time for people to vote. Does that make sense?
We should, yes, but we should be cautious not to extend the voting period past the end of the school year.
Sure. So if we don't want to extend the voting period past, let's say, June 18th, we would not want to extend the nominating period much longer than another 6 days. Okay. The options are we can extend the nominating period by 6 days, or we can move forward with the nominations we have right now. Those are the options. Can I just do an all in favor, voice vote, hands? How do you want me to do this?
So there's two things though, you're extending the nominating period as well as the election period, 6 days.
Can I make the motion?
Please.
I would like to make a motion to extend the nominating period 1 week. And then we could vote on it.
All in favor of extending the nominating period by 1 week? Your hand is up, keep it up. I'm at 9. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Like 1, 2. Somebody else count 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop moving, Melissa. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
I'm asking the chat to vote yay or nay as well on extending the nominating period. So far, we have 1 nay and 1 yay. 2 yays. Any other people on the Zoom would like to vote on extending the nominating period by, what did you say, 6 days? Okay, we have in the chat 2 nays and 2 yays. Can't hear the, oh no, and Sandra Borak, you have your hand up. Does that mean you voted already? Okay, I'm gonna put your hand down. Can you go ahead and unmute the room now, please? So we can hear Becca's final count.
A lot of muting and unmuting.
Okay, in the
I
room.
know, you're doing great. You're doing great.
In the room, we had 20 yays and no nays. Online, we had 2 yays and 2 nays. That brings us to 22 yays and 2 nays. So we will be extending the nominating period by 6 days, a week. That's fine. So what is it, Thursday? So the nominating period will be open until next Thursday, which is June 4th. The time will be 8 p.m. Okay. The way that nominations can come in are either on the PT board website. There's a form. I will resend it now with an update to the entire community that the nominations will remain open until next week. You can also send me an email. Please know that if you send me an email, I will need to get your answers to the questions on the form, so I might respond with some follow-up questions. Those are the ways to nominate. If anybody has somebody that they want to nominate, they're not sure, you can always come talk to me. We have flyers with QR codes if it's easier for people to see. We will also put it back on Class Dojo so that anybody who's not here or receives emails but receives Class Dojo can understand that there's another week to nominate. We will keep the election, I don't know if I have the authority to do this, we will keep the election open for an additional 6 days. It will now close on June 18th if there is a need for one. Does that sound okay? Yes, Eliza?
I would like to make a motion that it would probably be good to close the election a few days before the end of the school year. You know, again, the bylaws don't make a provision for extended electronic voting. We did that as an accessibility reason so that people could vote if they weren't here, they could vote electronically, you know, in order to encourage participation in the election. It doesn't have to be the exact length of time that the nominating committee and the board, you know, sort of had designed it to be this year. So I would propose that even if we're extending the nominating period by 6 days, that we cut the election period instead of June 18th to like June 15th or something, just something so that the announcement can be done and wrapped before the end of the school year.
When we send the notice, of the nominating committee, the nominating window being extended, we will also send notice of the adjusted election dates, and that will give some time for the board to make sure that they are in agreement on the election dates, and that I will be able to communicate that. Does that sound okay?
From a parliamentary position, which is the main thing I'm working on, that sounds great. Thank you.
Yes.
Who can nominate and who can vote?
Anyone can nominate in the community. You must be a dues paying PTA member to vote. I don't know if you have to be a dues paying member to nominate. Does that bylaw say that? Do you have them up?
We used to have.
Dues paying members can nominate, or everybody?
What the bylaws say is that if you have to be a dues paying member to participate in the business of the association, to be eligible to serve, and of course to vote. I would interpret that it doesn't say, who can be nominated. Really, it's the nominating committee who determines who can be nominated according to the bylaws. And they, and the nominating committee are all members. So really what you're doing when you're submitting a nomination is you're submitting it to the nominating committee, and then the nominating committee is supposed to pass the nominations to the board after doing things like checking that they agree to serve. So I don't think it matters actually if you're a member or not when you do the nomination. It matters if you're a member to be on the nominating committee, because that's the business of the board of the PTA, to serve and to vote.
Okay, so anyone can nominate. If someone's nominated who's not a dues paying member, they are more than welcome to become one. Ms. Greer, did you have a question?
Yes. Thanks for clarifying. So in terms of voting, based on what I just heard Eliza read, only dues paying members would be able to vote because that's the business of the association, right? So if the link for voting is public, how do you determine if the people who voted are dues paying members?
That is
Hello?
a fantastic question.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
I think it lasts.
Unmuted.
That is a fantastic question. We had debated having people required to vote on the PT board website to make sure that they are dues paying members. The problem is that it is a little bit tricky to navigate. You need to be logged in. We don't want to prevent any members from voting, but we do want to make sure that the election is anonymous, which makes it a little tricky. We did create a Google form. There is a box to check that you self-attest that you are a dues paying member. You can understand this is also tricky when you have paper ballots involved, because there's no one checking them, because you don't want anyone to know who voted for whom or who voted at all. So right now it is a honor system.
Can we send out ballots to the PTA members? And then they will be people with ballots.
We can, but then there's only electronic voting.
No, I mean,
Like literally mail them?
or just someone has to come get their
And they
ballot.
table and you check their names off and give them their ballot.
And
Like
then
it's
you
Do an in-person election.
from like 5 to 6.
Just so we can check your member, here's your ballot.
Voting. We've got pretty good membership.
It's just, how do you prevent multiple votes from the same person?
That's a good point.
I would be willing to sit at a table and hand it out to members.
Cross their name
If someone gives me a list of members.
That sounds good to me. I think I only have jurisdiction over nomination.
You do. The bylaws don't give us guidance on exactly what to do next here. And I will say that this is, there's some real democracy going on here. We haven't had any contested elections in like 3 cycles. So the very idea of having contested elections that requires ballots and what technology we should use to do it, like this is actually another really exciting conversation for us to have as a PTA. So thank you everybody for having these great conversations. I have served with another board that uses a membership checkoff electronic voting system. Those things really do exist. If we wanted to set something up like that, we could look into it. We would have to move pretty fast, or we could use the pure paper ballot, drop-off system. All of them both have, access limitations. So that would be something we should just talk about. I'm done.
Yeah, yes, you can share it. Now you can.
I just remembered something. I used to serve as a WTU building rep for my school, and DC or WTU recommended a particular website that you can use called Election Runner, where you put everybody's email address into it and they all get emailed a ballot. So that is a way around that if we want to use electronic voting. It's not free, but it's not expensive. $30. So PTA board could look into that. I'm gonna sit down now. I think I did the nominating. So.
That's how community comes together. Alrighty, so I guess we'll close out this meeting for today and we'll resume after election. But I would like to thank each and every one of you all for being here today and other days that we have had meetings. And thank you for all of your support all through this school year. It's been greatly appreciated. So we will celebrate and eat some cake, and the children will join us in a moment. You all have a wonderful evening. All right, have a great evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for running the technology.